Hello and welcome to another episode of Transition States, where we talk about how to use AI in our ordinary life and in our business. Today's topic is about AI safety. We want to learn about AI safety. We want to know how to use AI in the safest way for our business. AI safety is a business problem, not only a technical problem. Of course, technical people can tell us what tool we can use, how we use the systems, and these kind of questions. But the business must decide what is allowed in the system. The business must decide of how to operate the entire business and different tasks of people by having those AI safety measurements in mind. So the main point is that AI policy cannot be only one document that we put into folders and people's memo and then we forget about that. That's an active decision thing that the leaders should think about, especially in this time that the new tools coming every week. So the entire AI safety can fall into three simple questions. First, what we put in. So what kind of data do these systems have access to? The second question is what data and what information we get from them and how we use the output of these AI systems. And the third is where to put the supervision of human. It's called human in the loop. How human in the loop controls the entire system. So these are the three most important questions that we should ask when we think about AI safety. So let's talk about input. What kind of data we put into these systems? Before thinking about that, we need to classify the data before using AI. Just like we classify data in other types of business or aspects of business. There are public data, like the website copies or like public posts or anything that is generally public. And there are internal documents like internal notes, non-sensitive drafts, meeting summaries, and this kind of information that flows into the organization. Third, that's the confidential information, like contracts, pricing strategies, customer compliance. And the fourth one are the totally restricted data like payrolls, medical, legal, and other credentials and employee records. The main point here is that different data needs different AI safety. Some data cannot go into AI at all, and some data could be used only along with the human judgment. All right. So after we classify data, we can use different levels of AI. And I can now at this time name at least 4 different levels of AI safety. And by AI safety means the confidentiality of information, how much we can be sure that our data that we put into these AI systems are not leaked to other systems and sometimes will not be used in their training of their future models. The first one is the chatbots like ChatGPT and Cloud and other tools that the companies have. These have the least level of confidentiality and safety. The second levels are the using of CLI workers. CLI workers are, I means command line interface workers. They are the tools that sit on your computer and do the jobs for you. The examples are ChatGPT Codex, Cloud Code, Google Anti-Gravity, and other tools that do jobs for you. These tools have a relatively higher safety compared to chatbots, but they are still not very safe. The third one, there are API users. So these companies, these AI providers usually have contracts. In these contracts, they say that they are not using the data that communicated via API, and they are relatively safer. And I hear and see that many companies across the world, including military and other high stakes financial systems, they are using these front end models using APIs. And the fourth one, which gives the maximum level of security, is just hosting your models yourself. It means that the models sit on your computer, they never leave, and when you ask questions internally from your computer. And of course, some data should never be used in AI. There are very confidential informations like passwords, API keys, private keys, full payroll records, sensitive health information, confidential legal matters, customers' data, and these are very confidential informations that sometimes we don't need to use AI for them. And you should think about methodologies inside the AI so that these systems can still operate and work while they do not have any type of access to this information. Fortunately, we can design and develop systems to confine AI systems to not to look at some confidential informations and files. Let's talk about the output. The output means what we are letting the AI systems do and tell us. So there are some low risk outputs like brainstorming, when we are thinking about some ideas, when we have rough drafts and we want to talk about some general informations. There are some low risk outputs that we can certainly asking AI to do for us, especially when it's about just writing stuff. And there are high risk outputs like legal advice, like medical advice, financial decisions. And sometimes the systems do not have enough information about proprietary tools. For example, things that we are working on a specific hardware or specific software that the AI usually do not have enough information about that, and we should not rely on the output of these machines. Next, we want to talk about how to implement all of these limitations. We have the rules, we have classified our data, we know what to put in and we know what to get out. Next question is how to program AI. We want to make sure that AI does not see that data that they are not supposed to see, and you need to control the output so the AI is not used in the systems that they are not supposed to be used. We can use permission levels. So AI systems have several levels of permission. We can limit AI to what they can read, draft, recommend, or act. Sometimes we want to let AI to read something but not act on that or not changing anything. So the last point is to where to put human in the loop. And these are very important situations when a judgment can have some consequences. These are the things that should be strictly supervised by humans. It does not mean that we need to review every tiny thing or slowing everything down or turning AI completely into paperwork or totally put AI into trash. We don't do these kind of things. We want to use AI in our daily life, but we need to put human judgment where it really matters. Here are some examples. We need to review customer impact in work. We need to review employee impact in work, and we need to review legal, medical, financial, or most importantly, security sensitive work. To summarize, I would say that human reviews should be focused, not everywhere. We need to focus on the things that matter. So let's summarize. Modern AI can be used beyond the chatbots. There are, however, important shifts. AI is not only a box when you type questions. AI workers and agents can sit on your computer and do jobs for you. So they can read, write, search, summarize, edit, click. With the modern browser tools, they can go on web and do things on behalf of you. We need to set limitations, permissions, we need to record the logs, and we need to set some approval requirements. So let's talk about the strategies of applying AI into daily life. Well, the point is that we need to start small and gradually grow the use of AI in the company by having all of the limitations and constraints that I talked about. The first thing that we should start are like public content, general drafts, meeting summaries, checklists, formatting, and internal learning. In these kind of things, we can definitely use AI as the starting point. And gradually we can think about using AI in a little more serious content like contracts, employee data, regulated records, customer disputes, and automatic sending. So the main point is that start where the value is real and the downside is limited, and then gradually build the skills before giving AI more sensitive work. And there we have it. Let's summarize what we covered in this video. First, AI safety is not AI fear. AI safety is controlling AI. The business must decide what AI can see, where AI output can be used, when humans must review, and what AI is allowed to do. Be open to the value, be clear about the exposure. Thank you, and see you in the next one.